Hey, welcome to another episode of Making Life More Better podcast, where we are empowering Black men who grew up without their father to live a godly, purpose-driven life through faith, healing, and sharing our stories. This episode, I want to talk to the moms of young Black boys who don't have their father involved in their life. Share a little about my situation growing up with, as a child, my mom, as far as I can remember, I don't remember my mom ever saying anything negative about my father. Nothing whatsoever. I don't remember my mom ever talking bad about him. I don't remember him coming up. I don't remember me asking questions about him, especially when I started going through the different feelings, the different emotions. I didn't go to her because I didn't know what was going on. I looked at my family with me, my two younger brothers, and my mom, and my grandparents had lived right next door to us, who helped raise the three of us like that was normal. But then when I realized that my, you know, my father wasn't there, our fathers wasn't there. We had different dads, that our father wasn't there. I didn't talk about it. When the feelings or whatever was going on, I didn't know what those feelings were about, why I was feeling that way, why I started drinking as early as I did, eighth, ninth grade, when the drinking started. And it went from starting to drinking a lot, drinking heavily when I did drink. That was throughout high school. And some might be asking, well, how did y'all get the alcohol? I'm from a small rural town, Hampton County, and at my height, I'm fairly tall. I was about this height when I was in school and going to one of the local country stores, so we call it. We went in, paid for it, no questions were asked. We got the alcohol. But what I want to share with the moms is, talk to your child, talk to your son about his dad not being there. Not in a way to where you are bashing his father. I don't know what you and the father has gone through, the reason why he's not involved. I don't know any of that. But for the sake of your son, if he doesn't even bring it up, if he has no idea or no clue what's going on, he may think, like I thought, the family dynamics was normal. Even if that is the case, talk with your son. Sit down, talk with your son. Be open to listening. Be open to answering questions, because I feel like the sooner you can do that, the better it's going to be for him to start handling it, in so many words, processing it, dealing with it. Even with my mom not saying anything negative about my father that I can remember coming up or even bringing it up, I appreciate how she raised me, and I wouldn't trade my mom for anything in the world. She did a great job with us. And I wondered how it would have been if she had brought it up, if she had talked about it. Hey, let's sit down and talk. Give him my father's name. He's not involved in your life. Just sitting down and talking, and having that conversation, not letting me know, what's going on, or what happened, the reason why he's not, but just acknowledging it, that this is what it is. And I just wanted to talk with you about it. And that way I feel like it will give your son the time, the opportunity to look at the situation and at least start having some conversations about it. And I think the sooner you can do that, the better. I'm in the school system as an educator. I've been, 27 years? I've been in the school system as an educator. Kids learn a lot real soon. And I think we underestimate what kids can learn at a young age. No, I don't want to. Some parents may be like, nah, it's too young. He's too young. I don't want to talk to him about that now. He don't know anything about it. So why bring it up? All different kind of questions can come up in regards to that situation. But look on the flip side, if you don't, and he starts doing what I was doing and having those feelings, not knowing where this feelings was coming from or what was going on or how to handle it, or he may resort to drinking, like I did because of those emotions that I didn't know how to handle. He may end up resulting to that. Drugs, so many other things that could possibly happen if you don't. But if you do, now you can sit down and you can talk about it. You can share with him. You can get to hear what he's saying, how he's feeling. You may even find out that he has been thinking about it. He's been having these questions and he just didn't know how to ask you those questions. But because you brought it up, now you gave permission, the conversation, y'all can have the conversation and be open to listening to what he's saying. Be open to listening to what he's saying. Put aside whatever your feelings are. If you have any negative feelings about the dad, or put those feelings aside. And I want to encourage you to the negative feelings, to not express those towards him, towards his father, because I've known some kids that end up resenting their mom because their mom always talked that bad about the father. And the father was never involved in the child's life, but that son ended up resenting mom because mom, anytime her son heard anything about his father who was never there, it was always negative, negative, negative. Now the son started thinking, well, maybe dad isn't here because of what mom is saying. So I would encourage you not to do that, not to say anything negative, but just letting your son know that, hey, let's sit down and talk. There may be some things that's going on with your son now, and his father is not involved, and that could very well be the root of the problem of what's going on with your son. He's thinking, he's having these emotions, and he may not even know why he's having these emotions, but you sitting down, talking and having a conversation, that is going to be so, so important. I met a young man Saturday, a couple of days ago. I was leaving a basketball tournament and he spoke to me the day before, but I saw him the following day and we ended up started talking when I was getting my truck to leave. And somehow we got on talking about fathers. And he asked me something about my height. I said, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. He's never been involved. I couldn't tell you if he was my height or not. He's never been involved in my life, meaning my father. And so he started telling me about his dad. We were just standing in the parking lot. And I shared that to say he came out of high school in 2011. So he's an adult, and he was sharing with me his story, his testimony in regards to his father not being involved in his life. I did ask him and invited him to be on the podcast as a guest. And he said, yeah, he would love to do that. Great conversation. And there's so many Black men that grew up without their father of all ages that's suffering in silence because their father's not involved in their life. And I think part of the reason why they're suffering in silence is because they don't know how to talk about it. Nobody has brought the conversation up. There's some grown men, when I bring up the subject, when I'm talking about it, there's some hesitation about talking about it. Or they may talk about it and get to a certain point and they're not going to go any further. And my nephew, he expressed that with me. So moms, grandmoms, aunties, uncles, those that are in the life of young black men, young black boys who don't have their father involved in their life, start the conversation. Ask them, do you have any questions about your father? Just ask that question. Do you have any questions about your father? Do you know who your father is? He may not even know because it was never talked about. But just getting the conversation started, that is going to make a huge difference in his life. For him to start having that conversation, and he's been having these emotions and these feelings, now he can start learning how to deal with it, how to cope with it, how to channel this. And if it comes to a point to where you think that your son needs to talk to someone, needs a therapist, needs to talk with the pastor at the church, now you can start identifying these things. I appreciate and love my mom for what she did, how she raised me and my brothers. And I wish that I could have talked about my father not being involved in my life at a young age. And I want to encourage you to do that. I want to encourage you to do that. In school, when I'm talking to the kids, and part of my thing is, who you live with? My mom. Just your mom? My mom and my grandma. What about dad? Oh, he ain't in my life. Oh, my father, he's locked up. Or sometimes mom and dad, not all situations was not where they didn't have a father involved, but just knowing how to have the conversation. And just by doing that, just by me asking those little couple of simple questions, it opens up and the child starts talking to you. Now you're understanding, oh, he got some bad feelings towards his father. Oh, he hates, some of them will let you know, oh, I hate him. And you found that out because you wasn't intruding, but you was asking questions. I like to know the family dynamic. I like to know what's going on at home, because that can help us help the child at school. He may be growing up in a rough environment. He may be harboring some feelings because dad is not there, or dad was there, then dad got locked up, or dad was there, dad was killed, or for whatever the reason, at least you are starting the conversation. We got to get to the point to getting our young black men talking. We got to get to the point where we get our young black men learning how to open up, how to talk, how to share, and not making it so taboo that men can't open up and talk and share things that's going on and that's bothering them. That's not a sign of weakness. I think the sign of weakness is you're not talking about it. Again, the sign of weakness for me, I think, is when you're not talking about it, you keeping it to yourself, and all that stuff is festering. All right, so mom, just start having a conversation with your son. I don't care how young he is. Start having that conversation with your mom. All right, with your son. If you got any value from this, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified each and every time that I drop a new episode. And again, thank you so much for taking the time out to watch this. Again, this is Making Life More Better podcast, where we are empowering black men who grew up without a father to live a godly, purpose-driven life through faith, healing, and sharing our stories. All right, take care. God bless. Lord's will. I'll check you out on the next episode. Have a good one. Bye.